Welcome back to all our friends, family, and yes, even our foes. To the Foxx Den Sports Podcast, where Todd and his sports-passionate kids are ready to bring you the latest updates and insights on all things sports. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. I am your host, the Podfather, along with the Dog, G-Money, and Bench, here to discuss the college football playoff. Finally out. We got Indiana number 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Texas Tech 4. They all get byes. Then we have the first round, Alabama at Oklahoma, Miami at Texas A&M, Tulane at Ole Miss, and James Madison at Oregon. So here's my first question. Is this one of the most wide open playoffs you've seen so far?
Probably.
Great answer.
I would say no, yes and no. Yes, the matchups are going to knock out some contenders early, but also no, I think there's only 3 contenders in the country. Whether there was 12 teams or 4 teams, they would have still found their way in.
You're saying only 3 in the country?
The top 3 in the country, yeah.
Bench?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, I agree with Garrett. I think the top 3 are definitely, on paper, probably the best looking teams. But, you know, it's Ohio State. Thought they were looking pretty good last year, and then all of a sudden they falter in the end, and they got hot at the right time. I think the setup for their playoff run was nice, and so I could see some weird things happening with some team that we're not expecting, that we're not even really talking about, come up and win this year. Just because if they get hot, then they're going to win it all, and so it just, I don't know. It seems like every year I always think it's pretty telling who's going to win it, and that team never does.
So do you think the committee got this right? Did they get it correct?
I think, yeah. Only thing I would have honestly probably switched is the Ole Miss and A&M. But other than that, 100%, I think this was the first one that, from my viewpoint, I don't see any complaints.
Yeah, I think I mean, only ones I would have switched is maybe Georgia over Ohio State, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, except for maybe where they get to go in their first game. But you know, obviously everybody's complaining Notre Dame didn't get in, and should BYU, Texas, Vanderbilt, should those teams have got in? They're better in Tulane, they're better in James Madison, but I think the committee did exactly what their parameters told them to do. You know, I think somebody heard it explain it best that if there hadn't been a pre-rankings show the whole fall, then we wouldn't have complained about anything right now. The only thing people are complaining about is that Notre Dame was ahead of Miami up until the very last minute. And so that's the only complaint that you even see out there. But overall, Miami should have been over Notre Dame. I mean, they beat them and had the same records. I know Notre Dame's been playing good, you know, won 10 straight games. And yeah, I get all that.
They didn't play anybody good.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you know, ever since they partially joined the ACC and had to play 5 teams in the ACC, their schedules have been tanking. They haven't got to play as good of teams. And so I think that's part of the ACC's fault. But I don't know. Overall, they got the right 12 teams by what the parameters said to do.
Do you think OU got a fair draw playing against Alabama, or is that sort of a punishment?
I wouldn't say punishment by any means. I just think it's probably it's the weirdest outcome by far. I don't think anybody expected them not to move at all after getting demolished on Saturday. I mean, I've said it before, out of any team that we could have gotten in the sense of not the top 4 being on byes, that is the only team I didn't want to play, is Alabama.
What?
I don't care how they looked on Saturday. It's still Alabama. We've never beaten them in the postseason. We've beaten them once. It's so much harder to beat someone twice. So, yeah,
luckily
that's the last team I wanted to play. We're undefeated on the road this year, so not like it makes a difference for this team.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you have the whole revenge factor. I don't like that. I mean, my biggest thing was just the excitement of just playing somebody different. I mean, having a Miami, having a Notre Dame, you know, that'd have been cool to have one of those teams come into our stadium that we will never, ever play except for the playoffs. And Alabama will be here in a few years again. And so that to me is, whereas most of us pointing, I exactly agreed with Garrett. I thought, okay, well, that's good. They put them at 9th the week before because they're going to move either up or down. They're either going to bump us and we're going to have to go play somewhere, or they're going to move down after they lose to Georgia. And shocking. I mean, I really thought we would probably be playing Miami, and is what I really thought that was going to be my guess.
That's who I was hoping for. I wanted either OU Miami or OU Notre Dame, preferably Miami. Main reason why, I mean, Clay knows, like those teams in the 80s, they beat us 3 years in a row. And I know we've beaten them since then, several years ago, and then we played them, home and home series, and they beat us the next year. That was back in like 2009, 8, 9, something like that. But I wanted Miami. Notre Dame would have brought like fans, viewership, all that kind of stuff. That would have definitely been cool as well. Alabama, I'm not. We've already played them this year. We've beaten them, and that's just like Garrett's point. I mean, it's not easy to beat a team twice, and we'll go over that next week as far as probably like the game matchup and all that kind of stuff on the thought process there on each of us. But I wanted to see, to your point, somebody different, because the fact that with this the way the college football seems to be going, bet you after we get out of these games that we've committed to, like Michigan next year and all that, I don't know if we'll have very many of those going forward. And because, I mean, the daggum SEC is tough enough. Kellen, do you have anything to say about any of it?
I got no problem with any of it. It would have been cool to play somebody else, but it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it.
You guys feel bad for Notre Dame at all? Personally, I don't.
Screw Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They
join
they didn't play any. The best team they beat
conference.
was USC. That's the only ranked win.
Or even then, like if you're going like beat the good teams you actually play, being Miami or I don't even know who else they lost to. Honestly.
Texas A&M.
A&M.
Yeah, A&M. Right? Like just win those games, and there's no question about it. I love the way I think it's Clark Leah, the Vanderbilt head coach, is going about it. About them getting left out is he's like, we played great, but we at the same time, everything's in our hands. You win those games, no question, you're in the playoffs. But the fact that they're complaining and rejecting a bowl game because they're just so soft is hilarious. I think the CFB, the president, had a perfect explanation on why they dropped, because they felt BYU was not quite playing as good as Notre Dame, but they thought they were playing better than Miami, which is fair because Miami had lost 2 more recent games. But then the second BYU lost, you drop them once, and then again, that just brings Miami and Notre Dame right by each other, and then you have to honor the head-to-head, which bumps Notre Dame. So they're just stupid, honestly. Like, I'm not surprised. If you expand there's not a single team that got left out of the 12 team that would have won the championship, that would have even had a shot at the championship. There are several, and obviously the 12 team, obviously JMU and Tulane and probably us, that probably aren't going to win the championship as well.
But we deserve to be there, whether we win the whole thing or not.
No, yeah, I agree.
We did the work to get there.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And I think the problem is now this is probably the last year of the 12 team. And all we're going to do is have the same freaking conversation next year. Oh, I think that 17th team in the country got
Everybody
gypped.
thinks it's going to fix everything.
You lost 3 games, like 2 or 3 games. Give me a break.
It's just kicking the can down the
road.
road.
To this 12 team, they're like, man, there'll be no more gripe anymore, because they'll be like,
whatever.
The 13th team has no chance to ever win the national championship, and here we are.
What I love too is them sending Notre Dame a message, and I saw a Notre Dame fan page complaining about it, that now they know that if they lose 2 games, you have to lose only 1. You have to win 11 games throughout the year to be able to make it. And it's like, yeah, you're at
playoffs again because
you're not in a conference.
They have?
Yeah, but again, this is the last team of the 12 team, or last chance for the 12 team.
Explain
so
that
if it gets expanded, then they have to be in the top 15, I think, which is fair, I guess. I don't really understand, but
all I can tell you is join a conference. I would keep them out until they join a conference. I'm sorry, guys. Join a conference. I don't care who it is. Preferably,
unless they're going if you go undefeated,
I don't care.
I mean, sure enough.
You better beat somebody good.
I don't think they play anybody. They never play anybody.
I don't disagree, but then you have to get rid of the group of 5. If you're gonna do that, you have to get rid of the group of 5 because there's no question they're better than JMU and Tulane.
Oh no, I agree with you 100% on that. So that's why the next question. Here's my opinion. I don't think JMU or Tulane deserve to be in this thing. I think definitely Notre Dame, Vanderbilt, heck, even Texas. I know Texas lost 3 games, but regardless, I think these are the teams that should be playing because you don't have the top teams, period. I think they showed it last night, and Tulane was ranked 20th or something, 21st or something like that, and then is what it was 20.
James Madison 24.
24. Whatever. Here's the thing. It just drives me nuts. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think you should not ever. I think they need to fix it to where you don't have the automatic bids from any conference. I think they made the right move not having an ACC person in there at all. But I think if you're going to have, I'm not against having a group of 5 in there, but I think there needs to be a minimum that they have won 2 to 3 Power 4 games throughout their year, like minimum, and which is a lot because they didn't win it. None of them won any. So I think Tulane actually maybe won 1, but
they got
I think
by Ole Miss, who they're playing first round.
Yeah, I think you have to have a minimum amount of Power 4 wins that a group of 5 team needs in order to make it. Because I don't think, I'm all for giving the little guy a chance if they prove themselves, but they haven't at all.
Well, I don't think the committee, here's the problem, is they always thought it was going to be SEC, Big 10, ACC, and Big 12 is going to be the top 4. And so they're like, okay, we're always going to let one of the group of 5 come in. It's going to work out great. Well, then the ACC was so bad this year, and then Duke won the championship. They're like, oh no, now what do we do? And then the SEC and ACC don't use the CFP as a tiebreaker to get in the championship. So Miami should have been able to play themselves in, and nobody would have complained if they would have won over Virginia last week. Or because if them or Virginia, whoever won that game, was going to go in and the loser would have gone out, Notre Dame would have been in. But Alabama shouldn't have been in the SEC championship game. It should have been A&M, but we don't have that tiebreaker. And so it's interesting how they all do it differently, but all trying to do the same thing at the final.
Do you think they should get rid of conference championship games?
No, not at all.
And the only reason I'm asking that is because should you be penalized, hypothetically, if you lose one of those games? Like Alabama was not penalized. BYU, and it's weird, but BYU was because they were dropped. You know what I mean? That's what I'm asking. I'm just curious. So you're saying no, Kellen or Clay? What are your thoughts? And the reason why I'm saying that is, would it be better to do away with it and just start the playoffs earlier, like 1 week earlier?
Well, I think the whole thing with the conference championships is if they don't punish teams like Alabama, then I don't think they're going to matter. But they can help you. Because obviously if Virginia would have won, they would have been in. And but so if they're going to do it like that, the conferences don't want to get rid of it because it's millions of dollars that the conference gets,
True.
Not the teams. So it's just sad. It seems like every single thing that's happening is based off of money anymore and not what's best for the fans or for the kids that are playing or universities. It's just all about the money that somebody can make.
But I think that if you got rid of it, then what are you doing in the Big Ten this year? You have 2 undefeated teams. Who's the champion?
True.
Because you're not going to sit there and be like, oh, co-champions. Nobody gives a crap about that. We want to see them play on the field and decide who's the champion. And I think money aspect as well. The only people that probably would prefer it to go away in a sense is probably like the head coaches. So that way they don't lose and drop a couple spots. I think anybody higher up than that sees the money benefits. I think the players want to play that game just because of the intensity and the excitement around it. And then obviously the fans. We all love the championship weekends.
Y'all were probably too young there for a while. They didn't have a Big 12 championship game, and it just came down to just whoever's playing. OU ended up playing OSU to see who was going to win it, and I think Todd, that the year we won in overtime?
Yeah.
But it was weird. It was the last regular season game 2 days after Thanksgiving. We playing Oklahoma State. and just all the tiebreakers came down to those were the two best teams, and then there was no game the next week. It was the weirdest thing to not know who's going to actually be the champion of the conference, except for when all the teams don't even play each other or even have a chance to play each other.
So let's go back. I want to go back real quick to the James Madison Tulane. How do you fix that? Because you're feeling it's going to go to what, 14 or 16 next year? What do you think? And then
16.
how do you fix it? Do you allow these guys to keep coming in, or I've got a thought, but I want to see what you guys say first.
Well, I already said mine.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting if they switch it, because the Big Ten is pushing that 4 teams from each of the conferences get in, and that's how it happens. I'm like, that's terrible. You've just picked the 16 best teams.
Yeah, ACC's garbage.
Yeah, just pick the 16.
So is the Big 12, the 4th Big 12 team? Give me
No, you're right.
I don't even know who that is. Who would that be? Iowa State, maybe?
Utah.
I don't know. Utah's 3rd.
Oh, third. Yeah, might be Iowa State.
Probably Oklahoma State.
And then OU would have been out this year, or Alabama would have been out. OU would have been 4th.
Yeah,
I mean,
it needs to be the best. To your point, the best teams. Should there be some sort of a BCS, like how they have that rankings and all that combined, or what? I don't know. And here. Yeah, go ahead. I got to remind me something, but yeah.
I think the way they're doing it is probably the best way, because I do know they use some computer rankings. You look at college basketball. There's 300 plus teams. I mean, how in the world can you come up with 68 teams if it's just computerized? So you got to have some eye tests. Of course, they have all the conference champions in there, but there's got to be something like that when everybody doesn't have a chance to play. It's different than the pro sports where everybody gets all season long to play, win inside your conference, and that type of thing. But I think that's probably about the only way you can do it, is the way they're doing it.
Well, here's one thing I want to say. Like, who's on the college football playoff committee? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 12 people, right? How many of those are getting paid to do that? None, right? I think they're all volunteers, correct?
I don't think they get paid.
They may get paid by their other jobs, but they're volunteers for this thing. How many?
Well, they're
$billion?
ADs. There's university athletic
some
directors.
of them, right? Ivan Mazzell, I don't believe he is, right? Isn't he a writer? But here's my question. How many big corporations, billion-dollar corporations, have volunteers running? They don't. People are getting paid, CEOs and all that. They've got to fix this with having some, I would say, at least 6 coaches. I have no idea who. Maybe, and it could be some of the little guys. I mean, I don't know. Nick Saban, perhaps. Bob Stoops. You know, like that, Garrett? Some of these kind of coaches. You're shaking your head.
Well, I think the way they have it now is the best way to do it, unbiased, by far.
I don't like the way we got all these people making selections. Who won Class 6A championship in Oklahoma?
Bixby
did. Sand Springs won 6A2.
Okay, and that's what I was getting at. Why not have 2? Have your, we got the big dogs up here. Have 2 different separate champions. You have the Power 4, and then you have the Group of 5 in their own league. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Why would you not? Like, because these guys, there's like, who would win between Bixby or Sand Springs?
Bixby.
Yeah, and that's you know what I mean, and that's what I'm saying.
Bixby
like,
would have beat Oklahoma State this year.
Yeah, well, yeah.
The FCS does that. They have their own tournament.
And why wouldn't they just do something differently like that? I mean, you can agree, disagree. What are your thoughts on something like that? 2 different.
I think it would be similar to almost like the NIT. Nobody watches the NIT.
Yeah.
There's no point in it.
Yeah. And nobody cares about James Madison and Tulane being in the championship or in the playoff except for those 2 schools. You know what I mean?
Unless they win.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think in their eyes, they're almost like a March Madness, like toss a team in there and see if we can get a Cinderella story.
And it'll happen one of these years. It will, probably against OU, because that's always what happens, it seems like. But it'll happen at some point. One of these guys will win one of these games, probably. Anybody else agree, disagree with that, having 2 different champions, 2 different playoffs? Or do you think,
I think it'd be pretty cool if you had the Group of 5 had their own championship, Division I Dash A or something like that, and let them go fight it out, and then the Power 4 or 5 conferences have their own. That'd be all right with me. That'd be pretty cool. Because I mean, if you're that, team that has a really good year and gets beat by James Madison in the championship, and you don't make it, then nothing.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to play for when you really don't have anything to play for.
Sure. Kellen, who's the most overrated and who's the most underrated team in this college football playoff?
I think Indiana's overrated. I think they're not winning this thing at all. I think if we beat Alabama, I think we'll beat Indiana. Underrated. Maybe Ole Miss. I feel like they could actually do some. Underrated only because you kind of write them off without a coach, but I think they're going to have a little fire and try to go out there and prove something.
Clay, who's the most feared?
Oh, I'd say probably Georgia or Ohio State. I think nobody wants to play. Nobody wants to play anybody. I think every coach out there, it's like all 12 of these teams are pretty good. And, you can even say Tulane and James Madison. Those guys are going to have to prep for them.
Sure.
They can't just go out there and just play. And, but they're all good. And so I honestly, personally think the most underrated team out there is Oklahoma, because I do think if somehow we can fix this offense here in the next couple of weeks, there's not a team out there we can't beat. But if we don't fix the offense, or we turn it over like we did against LSU and Missouri, we're going to get blown out by Alabama. But
I agree.
If we can get, in the mid to upper 20s, we absolutely can win this whole thing.
I agree. Garrett, you got something to say on that or no? You good?
Yeah, I had some thoughts, but I'm kind of blanking. But I think to Clay's point, offensively wise, if we're able to figure out we can beat anybody, all that Saturday proved to me is that, a lot of things would need to go our way. I'm not betting on us to win the championship, but all Saturday proved to me is that our defense can actually win us these games, because you watch that game against Ohio State and Indiana, which are clearly the best 2 teams in the country. I think our defense is able to hold both those teams again to just what those defenses did, 10 to 13 points. Then all we're doing is asking our offense just score 14 points and we win this game. So I think all that did was prove to me is that our defense can actually carry us to a national championship. Obviously the offense would be huge, but I don't think it's a requirement necessarily with how good this defense is. I don't think anyone's actually, unless we play, like Lane Kiffin's not here anymore. Like there's not an offensive coordinator in this bracket that scares me. Like if it were to be Lane Kiffin, I know he's not calling the plays, but.
And the advantage that we have is all we need is a couple first downs and we're in field goal range because we have the best kicker in the country. So like if we go up against one of those teams, and we can kick 4 field goals and score 12 points right there, and that can put us in a winning position if we're not turning the ball over.
And if it's a 1-score game late in the game, give me Oklahoma any day of the week, because as much as our offense sucks, John Mateer has figured out a way in pretty much every single game when it matters.
So prove me wrong. Texas Tech is the most overrated team in this playoff.
I 100% agree. I agree. So I can't prove you wrong.
I'm just curious if anybody else thinks
they deserve the 4 because of the requirements. Yeah, but
I shouldn't.
No, they 100%. They're soft.
I don't think they're overrated because I don't hear anybody talk about them anymore. They're not the team that anybody's scared of, so I don't think anybody's rating them that high. Indiana is the team that everybody just is going nuts for, and I just don't see them actually. If it's Indiana or Georgia's smoking that team. They just have it in their blood.
Yeah,
I think Georgia just matches up really well against them. But everyone's freaking out about Texas Tech's defense, but the Big 12 this year is not much better than the ACC. Yeah. Like, honestly.
Do you think the bye week hurts, or should I say puts more pressure on the teams, the top seeds? Do you think that bye week hurts? Didn't they all lose last year? All the teams on the bye?
Every single one.
Or
Yeah,
just
because
think it's gonna hurt that
changed
bad.
that this year, so they can change things pretty quickly when they says, "Oh, that didn't work.
yeah.
We didn't expect that to happen."
I do think the extra week, or I guess almost pretty much 2 weeks of preparation for this game is going to hurt us because I think I texted in the group chat maybe, or I texted somebody, but Brent Venables has a pretty terrible track record when he has extra time to prep for a game. So I'm
Which
not
you
looking
think-
forward to that.
You think it would be different? But did
Oh, if it was played next week, much different. But that extra week, he's for some reason, I don't know if he overthinks it. I don't know if that's whenever the better head coaches actually make a difference with that extra week or what. But he usually either almost loses a game he shouldn't after a bye week.
Didn't we have a bye week before we played Alabama
Yeah,
Texas and
Texas?
Alabama.
Yeah, but Alabama,
And then we lost both our games last year, I'm pretty sure, after the bye week.
we were trash last year. We were,
And the year before that in the Big 12.
I think we'll be fine against Alabama. I've said this ever since they've played us. Their quarterback, no matter who he's playing, has the look of fear in his eyes, and I think he's going to remember what happened last time he plays us, and he's going to start off poorly because it's already going to be in his head, and we're going to be out there just screaming.
As much as we are upset with the Bama matchup, I think Bama is more upset with this matchup than anybody. I think we were the only team they didn't want to see. That was up there. Because from what I've seen after we beat them, all these Alabama pages and everything were like, whatever we do, we cannot get Oklahoma because for whatever reason, they haven't been able to beat us the last few years. We've had their number, whether we're a 6-16 or 5-7 or whatever we were, and then this year. But I think Alabama is looking at us pretty scared as much as we are at them. At least I am. I'm looking at them.
Alabama may be getting their running back possibly, but I think one of the funniest things I saw this weekend was 15 of the 16 SEC schools had more rushing yards than Alabama did in the conference championship when they ended the game with -3.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, they may be getting their running back, but you know who we might get back?
Mason Thomas.
Who didn't
He didn't play last time.
Yeah.
And Jaden Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know for sure Gentry Williams is out, which
Yeah, the shoulder
I hate to
surgery.
hear that, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but they did a ranking on the cornerbacks for all of SEC, and Eli Bowen was ranked 4th, and Guillory was ranked 8th. And if you think how many cornerbacks each team has, I mean, at least, they're probably at least 3 is what they're looking at, 3 each. So that's quite a few competition. And Guillory's a true freshman.
We also had
Guillory
2.
started out rough, and we watched him grow up before our eyes this season.
Auburn beat him up a little bit.
He stands on business too. I love he was going at that LSU receiver that was roughing up the end zone, and he made it known that he got locked up, which I freaking loved.
Good stuff.
And we also had 2 interior defensive linemen in that same list as well.
Do you guys have anything else about the college football playoff at all?
You going to talk about the people opting out of bowls?
Yeah, I mean, and that was going to be my next point was,
come on,
what
Clay.
are your thoughts?
I mean,
huh?
Clay just, spoiling.
Clay jumping ahead. But no, like what
He read the script.
He did read the script.
It's over here taped up.
What are your thoughts? Do you agree, disagree? Are you mad at him? Do you care?
I here's the thing I was going to say is, like, how much more in these next 5 years, what's college football going to look like in the next 5 years than what it is right now? Because Kellen and Garrett haven't, I mean, Todd and I, it was the same thing for 40 years. And then when they went to the 2-team BCS, everybody's like, oh, good, because, you guys probably don't know this, but I think was it 86, 87, Todd, that BYU won the national championship? Well, their conference was tied into the Holiday Bowl, which always played in mid-December, and it may have been 84.
I was thinking 83, 84, yeah.
So OU tied into the Orange Bowl with the Big 12 or Big 8 conference, and so they didn't get to play them. So BYU goes undefeated, 13-0, 12-0, wins the national championship. Nobody plays them. And so we're
84.
like, man, so they went to the BCS. That was great. Then obviously we went to the 4. This year probably, could you imagine if they only had 2 teams, would have been Ohio State or Georgia would have got left out. That would have been insane. And if they had 4 teams, probably the top 4 that have got the byes, that's probably pretty good clear cut right there. I don't know, Oregon, are they better than Texas Tech? Probably, but they would have been left out. Anyways, so it's so good to see what it is, but these bowl games that like these teams are opting out of, I don't have a problem with like Kansas State and Iowa State that's lost their coach, but to other teams to like Notre Dame just to drop out, I'm just like, I don't get it. I heard a scenario today. I wanted to bring this up. What if they took all the bowl games the way they are now, and those bowls are tied into conferences, and that's the first game of the year?
So that bowl game counted towards your record that next year?
No. It's the first game of the year in August. All the bowls are now in August and instead of December. And then because now they've got a 16-team playoff or a 24-team playoff, and so that's where the bowl games are. So if you don't, you may win 8 games or 9 games, but if you don't make the playoffs, your season's over. And then that shifts everything up, like Todd, you mentioned earlier. Everything's going to be in the first semester. I don't know. I thought it'd be interesting to see if those bowl games got, if there was the guaranteed rate bowl, had Oklahoma versus, I don't know, Clemson, and because they saw that as a good matchup of what they think the teams are going to be ranked off of or something. I don't know. Just that's my point is what else is going to change? Coaches getting fired in the middle of the year. NIL obviously is the thing. Portal, they changed, used to have 2 portals. Now they got 1 portal. All these coaches got hired now because they got to still have the spring or the early signing period. There used to only be 1 signing period. It was on February 1st, and that was it. But now there's 1 in December, and so those guys can come into school in January. Anyways, I don't know. I thought of that. I heard that about the bowl game, and I thought, man, that'd be interesting because then everybody gets all their stuff, and there's still what is Jerry World, and then the Atlanta. Don't they have the big games at the beginning of the year? Try to get the 2 big teams in at that first week. I mean, what if the whole first week of the season was like that? That'd actually be kind of cool to me.
Only problem with that though is then that the team that qualified for that bowl isn't there next year.
Seniors graduate.
Oh, John Mateer qualified us for the.
It's the conferences decide who get to go, or the bowl committee gets to decide who goes.
Well, that would be the same difference, though, right? Like because they would base it off of like Oklahoma went 10-2 this year. I know we made the playoffs, but 10-2 this year. So then they would base what bowl we made that next year on.
That could be true. Yeah.
Yeah. The one I saw that I loved was suspend them from a bowl game for 1 year. Notre Dame, you're not going to play in a bowl game this year? Okay, well, you got invited and you rejected, so you are disqualified next year. So I think that would be a perfect fit. And I think you could, again, like you said, maybe you could toss in a exception for teams that lose a head coach. But other than that, no, screw them. Like, I hate that people are just
because you got left out the playoffs.
Yeah,
What about the teams that are got invited that were 5-7 that turned it down? Should they get fined? Should they get?
They already thought they played their last game. Like those guys are done. They're probably already out of shape. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Only reason I say yes is because the odds, if you suspended a team for a year, the odds of it actually falling to them is pretty slim. This one, like, it would just move so fast, and it just didn't make sense. But I don't think they would get that chance anymore.
Now there's 6 teams that were 5-7 that declined invitations, and there's 1 bowl that still doesn't have an opponent because they can't find anybody to come play.
They should be devoted to Division II.
If you started suspending teams for rejecting, I don't think they'd have any. I don't know 7 teams.
Yeah. True.
Well, I've got 2 questions for you. The first one, we'll go. Whoever wants to go first. What's the most OU's bowl game? Which one sticks out to you the most that you've seen?
Right off the top of my head is when we beat Alabama with Trevor Knight, just because in our minds, we had 0 chance. So it's just
Alabama didn't care about that game.
Yeah, so they lost the week before, and they'd never lost before, so they didn't know how to lose, and they were just all thrown off apparently. But that's the one that comes to mind just because it was awesome.
Well, that was my first one, but then my next one is Oklahoma, Georgia, Baker Mayfield.
Why did they take the ball out of his hands?
Who was the head coach?
I know.
Bob Stoops.
Tebow.
Yeah.
It's like I would not have made that joke, but I'm pretty sure it was not Bob Stoops.
I'm gonna
We'll go with 1978.
Yeah. No, I don't want to say that one because we got beat by Arkansas.
You're such a nerd.
Yeah, that was 76. But go ahead. 76.
Oh, we got a nerd off.
It wasn't 78 that we lost Arkansas?
Let's check it.
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds.
I think it was 77. I think it was 1977 Orange Bowl, but I could be wrong. It was 76 or 77. Is what
Are we ready?
I think 78 we played.
42 days.
Clay, what did you say?
I said 78.
January 2nd, 1978.
Okay, 77 season, 78.
31-6.
Yeah, they beat.
I don't know where I got 42 days from.
No, 42 was 42 was when we smoked them in like 80, whatever that was, 86.
Well, you're right, we did. I've been to I think 4 or 5 bowl games, so those are probably the ones that I would probably. No, I hadn't been to any of the good ones because those two they mentioned, the one versus Georgia and the one versus Alabama were the two most memorable, probably. Maybe the one where we got smoked by USC. I mean, I thought we were going to win that game. We go down, score in the opening drive, and then pretty much don't score again the rest of the game. But yeah, all the bowl games I've been to. I went to the OU Navy game last year. We lost. I went to OU Arkansas when we won 10-7 when it was 28 degrees and at the Cotton Bowl, outside Cotton Bowl, where we play the OU Texas game. I went to the OU Ole Miss Independence Bowl, Bob Stoops' first year, and we lost that one. So, you know, I did go to the OU Florida game. That was pretty cool. But, you know, that was the one when they were like, Florida, we just played their JV team. And that was in the Cotton Bowl. But so I hadn't really been to that many exciting ones. But, you know, bowl games are weird to go to because, man, there's zero atmosphere at those games because there's no tailgating. Everybody just, it's like a high school game. You just walk in, watch the game, leave.
So what bowl game do you think of?
Which one's your favorite?
Yeah, like whenever you say.
I said y'all mentioned them, so I just talked about the ones I went to.
They already mentioned the game. Your favorites?
Yeah, they said the two that the OU Alabama with Trevor Knight and then the OU Georgia one are the two most memorable ones for me.
Well, I'll tell you guys what the most memorable one was. January 1st, 1986, from the 85 season, Oklahoma 25, Penn State 10. What a game, man. Holloway hitting Keith Jackson on that bomb, and then nothing better than a little Lydell car up the middle to solidify that victory. Bosworth jumping on Jamel Holloway at midfield after he throws the bomb. I mean, that was just nothing better, man. I can't even describe how a feeling that was. 2000 was fun, but 1985, Barry Switzer, Bosworth, Jackson, man, what a bunch of really, really good players. That was my favorite. All right. The last question. Would you rather take an all expenses paid dream vacation every year for 1 month for a year, or every year basically, or have the job of your dream? Would you rather be able to take 1 month off on a dream vacation every year, or have a job of your dreams?
Well, the job of my dreams also includes that, so it includes a month-long vacation.
If I have my job of my dreams, then I can afford a 1 month vacation, so I can do both.
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
Job of the dreams for sure.
I'm at my job of my dreams.
I'll take my dream job. What is your dream job?
Same.
Do you even know what your dream job is?
Yeah, GM of the Thunder.
Little Presty there.
I'm a more of a like Oklahoma fan, obviously, but I think it would be more fun to be in charge of a basketball team than a football team.
Why?
You only got to put together like 12 guys tops.
15.
I was gonna say I think it'd be easier mainly.
Yeah, I'd rather not be in charge of the Oklahoma Sooners because that's all like, 18 to 22-year-olds?
Yeah, like can you imagine? Yeah, walking in and seeing how much money they can get. That would just take me off.
Kellen, what's your dream job?
An astronaut.
I mean,
I'm going to be president.
anything with the Thunder would be cool.
United States of America.
Lately, I've wanted to be one of those guys like JoJo's, just a photographer for the Thunder, just sitting sideline taking cool pictures, and all the players know him.
JoJo's?
His name's
Shot
JoJo.
by
yeah.
JoJo.
Clay, what's yours?
I think it'd be cool to be like in some really top secret crime, FBI, Secret Service, CIA, that type of job. That'd be a blast.
Here's a question.
I don't want to be undercover, but I'd like to do all those jobs.
Are we good at these jobs?
Yeah, you're definitely good at these.
Okay, then I want to take mine back. I'm going to take mine back.
Okay, well,
I want head coach of Oklahoma.
that'd be it.
Can you
Head
imagine?
coach of Oklahoma would be incredible, man. Just
Put my name in the rafters. Crowd chanting my
you'd be
name.
the basketball coach, and I'd be the football coach, right?
You'd be like the soccer coach, and I'd be the
No,
football
dude,
coach.
you just said rafters. I don't see no rafters at Owen Field.
What do you call it?
There's no rafters.
Where do you put your name then?
I put mine in the book of best coaches. That's what I do.
Paint it on the field.
I'll paint on my chest. But no,
Well,
I would. Oklahoma Sooners head coach would be the best job. I'd love to say Dallas Cowboys. The thing is, I'm not a fan of well, I shouldn't say, but I'm just not Jerry Jones, whatever. But the thing is Oklahoma's Oklahoma. Smaller group of people versus the Dallas Cowboy fans, and then you got smaller group of people all excited. Be a legend here if you were able to roll off like 8, 9, 10 national titles. Be great.
Dad's second choice is the guy that washes Jim Traber's feet.
You talking about Gideon Hamilton or?
Big Daddy.
You know what job I found out was a real job this past week?
I don't even want to know.
A
Was it
wheelchair technician. Dude who literally just drives around like a 200-mile radius, fixes wheelchairs at nursing
That's
homes.
a pretty cool job
Is he
too,
in
but
a
I can't say it on the
wheelchair?
podcast.
Is he in a wheelchair?
Can't say it
himself?
on air.
No.
No, it's not.
What job are you thinking?
I don't even want to hear it.
He
I don't even wanna
DoorDashes
hear it.
wheelchairs.
All right. Well, the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. I'd like to thank all of our listeners for tuning in on this fantastic 199th episode of the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. Next week, or it could be later this week. I don't know. We may want to talk about the NFL. We may want to talk about Thunder. I don't know. Here says no. But 199th episode. We'll have 200 coming up here pretty soon. Thank you again for all of you. We're at 18,000, almost, I think, 18,300 subscribers. We need more on YouTube. Follow us on all these different avenues. You've got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff. YouTube is where we download this podcast. But for the Foxx Den crew, I'm the host, the Podfather, and I'm going to say good night to everybody and have a great week. Till then, Boomer.
Keep crying, Texas.
Yeah, Texas stinks. Bunch of babies.
Thank you for listening to the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. Be sure to subscribe for free to our YouTube channel, Foxx Den Sports. And also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Foxx Den Sports and on Facebook at Foxx Den Sports Podcast. You can also email us at foxdensports@yahoo.com. This has been Foxx Den Sports.